Hi guys, this is Mick Carballo, and we're going to go over the probability ECART if you need to do a retake, or if you want to do a retake. So you only have to if you got a D or an F, but you can do the retake. So this is question number 1. In a board game, each player must roll a number cube and spin a spinner. The number cube is labeled 1 through 6. Spinner has 8 equal parts. What's the probability you will roll a 5 and land on blue? So there is 1 5 on a dice out of 6 total, and I'm going to multiply that by blue, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8 total. So I could put 4 out of 8, or I could multiply it by a half. And then let Desmos do your work. 1 over 1, 1 times 1 is 1, 6 times 2 is 12, and 1/12 is A. So you're just multiplying those two probabilities together. All right. Question 2 looked like this. If An selects a card at random, what's the probability she selects a card with a tree, puts it back, and then selects a card with a dog? So trees, there are 2 out of 10, and 2 out of 10 is 1/5. So I'm going to use 1/5. I'm going to multiply that by dogs, which are 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 10, which simplifies to 2/5. So I'm going to use 2/5. And 1 times 2 is 2, and 5 times 5 is 25. And that's as simplified as I can get. Answer to number 2 is D. All right, number 3. Flipped a coin 3 times. Find the probability that it came up heads the first time, tails the second time, and heads the third time. So each time you flip, you have a 1/2 chance of getting heads and then tails and then heads again. And when you multiply these, you get 1/8. All right, question number 4. 3 spinners numbered 1 through 12 are spun. What's the probability of spinning a 5 and an even number and then a multiple of 4? So the first spinner, how many 5s are there on this spinner? 1 out of 12 total. The second time you spin it to get an even number would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, which are 6 out of 12. And 6 out of 12 simplifies to 1/2. I'm just simplifying them to multiply easier. And then a multiple of 4. So the multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12. And that's 3 out of 12 total. And that simplifies to 1/4. So these are my 3 fractions that I'm multiplying. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 12 times 2 times 4 is 96. All right, question number 5. 3 quarters, 5 nickels, 2 dimes. What's the probability of selecting a nickel and then a quarter? So, and without replacement. So you don't put the first one back. So a nickel, there would be 5 out of how many total? 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 10, and that simplifies to 1/2. And then a quarter without putting the first one back. So I have to pretend like I got a nickel. Now there's only 9. And how many quarters are there? 3. So 3/9 would be my second fraction because there was 1 less coin because I kept 1. And there's 3 quarters out of those ones that are left. So so I'm going to simplify this 3/9 to 1/3. And then I'm going to multiply straight across. 1 times 1 and 2 times 3. All right. Number 6, Marcus has 2 blue, 3 red, and a green. He will pick a pen, give it to a friend, and then pick another pen. What's the probability they get 2 green pens? Well, there's only 1 green pen in his backpack, so the probability that they would both get a green pen is 0. What that would look like is the green pen would be 1 out of 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they keep that, but now there's no green pens left because you have to assume the first person got it, and that's how we get 0. All right, question 7. Sandra has a bag of animal cookies. What's the probability she chooses a tiger, eats it, and selects a cookie that's not a bear? So tiger is 3 out of 9, 18, 8, 26. And then she eats that cookie. So now there's not 26, there are only 25 cookies. And not a bear. So if there are 9 that are a bear, out of the 25, then there are 16 that are not a bear out of the 25 that are left. Okay, does that make sense? So eats it and selects a cookie that's not a bear. So the ones that are left, 9 of them are bears, which means 16 of them are not bears, because we have to assume she got a tiger on the first time. All right, so 3 times 16. I know I can simplify this because 16 and 26 are even numbers. So I'm going to make this an 8 and I'm going to make this a 13. I just divided them both by 2, basically. So it makes my multiplying a little bit easier. 3 times 8 is 24. 13 times 25 is 325. Also, Desmos would have simplified that for you too. But that's how the multiplying fractions works. All right, number 8, bag of marbles. Jackson will randomly select 2 marbles with the replacement. What's the probability that he will pick a marble that is not blue and a marble that is green? Write your answer as a percent. All right, so 2 marbles with putting it back. He's going to pick a marble that's not blue. So not blue. So if 20% are blue and 40% are pink, then what percent are green? 60, 100 minus 60, 40. All right, so now 2 marbles and one that's not blue. So if blue is 20%, not blue is 80%. And I'm going to multiply that by green, which is 40%. And they put the first one back, so I know it's really still 40%. All right, and I can't multiply 2% until I turn them into decimals. So I'm really multiplying 0.8 times 0.4, which is 0.32, which is 32%. All right, question number 9. Carlos and Molly are playing a game 1 through 10. Carlos draws a card and replaces it. Then Molly draws a card. So what's the probability they both draw numbers less than 7? So out of 10, less than 7 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's 6 numbers out of 10 that are less than 7. And Carlos puts his back. So we're still going to have 10 on the second draw. But now there's only going to be 5 of them that are less than 7 because we have to, no, there'll be 6 again. There'll be 6 again because Carlos puts the first one back. I'm sorry. So there's 6 numbers less than 10 for both of them to get their probabilities. This simplifies to 3/5. So now when I multiply, 3 times 3 is 9, 5 times 5 is 25. Write your answer as a percent. So this would simplify to 9 divided by 25 is 0.36. So I just divided this on my calculator. I did 9 divided by 25, and that gives me the decimal. And then I multiply this by 100 to get the percent. All right, last question was weird. I was going over this with somebody and I didn't have part of the information. So I'm not even going to go over this one right now. Check to see if you missed this one because I can't do this without that fraction. And when I was looking at the test in ECART, it didn't have it either. So I'm not sure what it was that day that you guys took this. Okay, so this one we'll have to figure out together. It won't be on the retake. All right, guys, I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any questions.